Hello and welcome to episode 40 of the Speed Mooting Partners in Crime podcast. This is our first episode for 2025, so we began by speaking all about everything that we have planned here at Speed Mooting for 2025. In particular, we were talking about the upcoming National Speed Mooting Competition, the return of the Northern Pupillage Fair, and of course the return of Advocacy Club for 2025 and all of the new sessions that will be included here at the Advocacy Club. In addition to that, we were also talking about some funny stories from court over the years, and we answered a question all about a day in the life at the CPS. So it was a fun episode, we enjoyed recording it, and we hope you enjoy listening. Welcome to the podcast. We are live.
Hi everyone.
Hello, welcome to the first podcast of 2025.
Happy New Year everyone.
Happy New Year. So we're recording this today, Tuesday the 2nd of January.
Yep, it will be released Friday the 3rd.
Friday the 3rd. So this is episode 40 of the Partners in Crime podcast.
Crazy. It's quite a bit of a shame that we didn't get to episode 40 in 2024 because it was just been a nice neat number to round off the year, but never mind.
It happens, doesn't it?
It does. There we go.
There we go. We need to name our episode, don't we?
We certainly do.
So we're on Formula One drivers this week.
Okay. Am I going to get this one?
Possibly.
Okay, possibly.
So he's number 40. He's from New Zealand.
Is he a current driver?
He most definitely is a current driver, because he's not long ago been announced as Max Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull Racing.
Oh. Something Lawton?
Oh, you're so close.
Lawson. Jamie Lawson?
No, it begins with an L.
Liam Lawson.
So yeah, Liam Lawson. Let's see how he does. I mean, that's
an interesting choice, wasn't it?
It really was, because Yuki Tsunoda, basically Red Bull after they want to pick someone from their junior team, so their junior team is called RB or Racing Bulls or something, and Yuki Tsunoda's been there for 4 years, I think now, done really well, beating every teammate he's gone against. Liam Lawson has had probably 10-15 Grand Prix in Formula One. So, he's obviously good. There's obviously a lot of talent there, but I mean, it's just a shame that Yuki's been overlooked.
Yeah.
But could be a bit of a political decision, because I know that Yuki Tsunoda's got a heavy backing from Honda, and Red Bull are going to switch from Honda engines to Ford in 2026. Aston Martin will have Honda engines, so...
Ooh, okay. He might
end up at Aston Martin in 2026, so that might be the long play. So what Red Bull are probably thinking is, well, we've only got him for another year or so anyway, because he's likely to jump ship with Honda. So yeah, that might be their thinking behind that decision. But let's see what happens.
Only time will tell, John.
Only time will tell. But so that's that's episode 40, the Liam Lawson special.
Welcome. Kind of sound like you were ending the episode then. That's episode 40.
Yeah, we haven't even begun. Yeah, if you're listening, don't switch off yet. We haven't even started. That's just our introduction. So obviously it's the 2nd of Jan. That means we've just had New Year's Day yesterday.
Yep.
We had New Year's Eve the day before.
We certainly did.
Around a week or so before, we had Christmas and Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we'd chat a little bit about what we got up to over Christmas and New Year.
It was a nice one, wasn't it?
It was.
Nice, nothing too crazy, family-centric.
We saw both of our families on Christmas Day, didn't we?
We certainly did.
You came round for like a second Christmas dinner on Boxing Day.
Yep, like your dad's.
Yeah.
Well, your mum and dad's.
Mum and dad, yeah.
Oh, we're not with it today, and we will explain why.
That's coming up. And yeah, we just took it easy between Christmas and New Year, didn't we?
Played a lot of board games.
We went to the indoor fair.
Oh, we did go to the indoor fair. That was really good.
Was fun. Yeah, that was fun. And New Year's Eve, we went and saw your family.
Yep.
And then we had a whole bunch of people
around
our house, didn't we?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Played some board games and just generally chit-chatted and fraternised, didn't we?
Fraternised with the family.
Fraternised with the family.
It's funny, we've got like our family's dynamics are very different, aren't they? So his mum and dad and his brother, very quiet, calm. I come over, Freddie comes over, who's his brother's fiance. And then in my house, we've got, I don't even know how many, 10 kids, 3 children, me, my sister, my brother. Then everyone's got partners, boyfriends, wives, fiancés, whatever. So my mum and dad's house is like chaos, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we come to your house and it's just like calm.
Just serene.
Yeah, so we really get the full flavour of Christmas.
You see everything, don't you? You see both sides of it.
Yeah. But we're feeling very, very good about the new year, aren't we?
We really
pumped, we're excited.
Yeah.
We've got lots of exciting things planned, professional and personal.
Yeah, that we do. So we've got, personal wise, we have a couple of weddings. So Alan's getting married in March.
Yep.
He's having 2 weddings, isn't he? One in England, one in Italy.
Yep.
We're getting married in October. That's fast approaching.
I know.
And we've sorted a fair amount already, haven't we?
Yeah, we pretty much planned the whole thing in a month, really.
Yeah, that's the way we do things, isn't it? We don't.
We do events for a living, don't we?
Yeah.
So
a wedding was always going to be easy, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We have our saxophonist, don't we?
We've got a sax player. We've got hair, makeup, transport, food, venue, everything. Yeah. The only thing left to do is the flowers, and that's only because it pains me out every time I look at them how expensive flowers are.
Yeah.
If you loved flowers and stuff, I get it, but I'm not that bothered. The flowers, they're gonna die. I'll probably end up with fake flowers, I think.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, and it's quite nice that there's something left, because that means when we can start going around the wedding fairs and stuff.
Yeah, there's something for you to look at, isn't it?
You're not just going completely for the sake of it. Although I will go to a few just for the sake of it, because it's fun. But yeah, that's that.
And obviously a few big trips as well.
Yep. So we've booked our honeymoon, haven't we?
We have indeed.
We are going to Mexico. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
America in August, we think.
Yeah, I reckon so, yeah. Rock Bottom Cup.
And then, obviously, we're going to Italy in March.
Yeah, Italy.
That's it so far. But
may squeeze another Tenerife in, maybe.
We can't go a year without Tenerife,
Can't go a year without Tenerife.
It's not right.
Yeah.
The island will collapse.
Literally will. Be like, where's John and Hayley?
We keep it afloat. We really do. So, I don't know when.
The tourism board, I've got like photos of us on the wall in Tenerife.
Yeah, I don't know when we're gonna fit that in.
Yeah,
it's not going to be Jan. It's not going to be Feb. Maybe April or May.
Possibly. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight because it's such a busy year. Because not only is it busy personally, very, very busy professionally.
Yes.
So once again, speed mooting. We've got 4 competitions. So that's 2 in person, 2 online.
Yep.
We've got the Advocacy Club again. We have the pupillage fair in September. Our own one. We'll no doubt be exhibiting at other pupillage fairs as well.
Yep.
And yeah, we've got a few events on as well. For example, next week we've got our pupillage mentoring evening, pupillage Q&A evening. So much going on.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy
year.
But exciting year, and all of you lovely listeners get to come along with us and enjoy the journey.
Absolutely. So take your coat off, have a seat and settle in for the podcast.
There we go. But before we get to all that good stuff, we've got to get through the next 10 days.
We have indeed.
Do you want to tell everyone what we're doing, John?
Let's tell them all about it. So for those of you who are regular listeners, and particularly those who watch the visual version of the podcast, you may have seen a few weeks ago I had a delivery during the episode, and it was this.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was live on the podcast without the delivery. I was talking about it. It's the 10-Day Detox by Dr. Mark Hyman, and I've read the book, and we've decided to do the 10-Day Detox.
Yep, we are on day 2 and not feeling so good. Apparently, you do feel really bad for the first up to 4 days, and then you really feel the benefits, because we're having 10 full days without alcohol, which we always do dry January anyway. That's not an issue.
Yeah.
Caffeine.
They sound like alcoholics there.
No, that's what I'm saying. We always give up for the month, don't we? So it's not a problem giving up the alcohol. But caffeine, no caffeine, no carbs, and no sugar. They're the ones that are hitting us, I think.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy because it's just because his big thing is he says there's so much sugar in our diet, and he's American, and he talks about in America they've got a lot of what's he call it, high fructose corn syrup in their sauces and juices and all the rest of it. I don't think it's as prevalent. I don't even know if it's legal in this country, to be fair, but even still we've got loads of sugar in our diet, so that's why I hate just so much at the beginning, because it's like a huge withdrawal, because we're just used to it in our diet. And so it's going to take us a few days, but by day 10 we're meant to feel amazing, so we'll let you know how we're getting on next week. And
we should be past the worst of it this time for the next week's episode, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we'll be on day 8 this time next week, so fingers crossed we'll be feeling chirpy.
Yes, because right now we're feeling very, very sleepy.
Yeah, we fell asleep by about 9:30 last night, didn't we?
We did. I mean, it's nice because it's like New Year, let's jump into it, but then also we probably didn't time it very well. We've said this, haven't we? Because obviously you have the New Year's Eve party, there's a lot of fizz, a lot of bad food, and then you wake up the next day and it's like detox.
Yeah.
We could have weaned ourselves, made it a bit easier.
A couple of days,
but we don't do anything by halves here.
We don't mess about.
Go hard, go home. Indeed. So, that's a little bit of what we've got on in January. Do you want to tell people in more detail what else we've got on, John?
So, we've announced our National Speed Mooting Competition.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are back for the... Well, let me work this out, actually. Okay. So, we are back for the 13th edition of the National Speed Mooting Competition.
Wow.
So, it's back, and it's being held at BPP Manchester, Saturday the 5th of April. So, sign up is live, places are limited, so we've filled there or thereabouts 50% of the places right now.
Yeah, mainly just through the main list, like we always say.
Pretty much. We haven't even really done a full formal launch of it yet, have we? It's just been sort of a soft launch, and we filled that many places. So if you're interested and you genuinely want to take part, get yourself signed up as soon as possible, because the places will fill very quickly, I suspect.
Absolutely.
It's always a great day. So the idea of the National Speed Mooting Competition, you get the papers the night before, so it's like being in practice. We give you everything, so you get pre-drafted skeleton arguments, all the case laws included, all the legislation, anything else you might need. And it's not so big that you can't prepare for it in one night. So it's manageable. It's bite-sized chunks, so to speak. And you prepare for both sides, because from one round to the next, you don't know which party you're acting for. And then on the day, we have 128 people in this in-person competition. Moots are one-on-one. You represent yourself. You have 7 minutes for submissions. And what will happen is you'll be doing the moots in front of judges, and you'll either win or lose each round. You win, goes to the next round, win, goes to the next round, win, goes to the next round, all the way until we have a winner. So the winner will walk away with an iPad. The runner-up will receive a £100 gift voucher. So some pretty good prizes on offer there. Excellent.
For those who maybe get knocked out in the earlier rounds, there's plenty for you to be getting on with during the day, so don't worry. It changes up each time, doesn't it? But generally you can expect some form of Q&A, some form of advocacy exhibition, a really good lunch, and chances to do, what are they called?
Well, we have consolation moots as well.
That's it. Chances to do consolation moots, which is basically another go at practicing outside the competition, but it just means whatever feedback you've been given from the judges in the round where you were knocked out, you can put that straight into action and practice again.
Certainly, because that's what we do. We emphasise to all the judges, give feedback. So win, lose or draw, you will receive feedback.
So who can enter this competition, John?
Pretty much anyone, as long as you're not qualified.
Yep.
So if you're an A-level student, undergraduate, whether law or non-law, GDL students, bar course students, LPC students, SQE students, master's student, PhD students, any form of education, go for it. And then even if you've graduated as well, because you might have graduated from your law degree, your bar course, your PhD, whatever it is. If you've graduated, fine, you can still take part. The only people who can't take part are those in practice. Yeah,
which makes sense because they're the judges.
So as long as you're not in practice, feel free to enter.
Yep. But if you are in practice and you're desperate to improve and practice your advocacy, then you could join our Advocacy Club.
You certainly could.
Which is back bigger and better than ever for 2025.
It really is. So we're back. We've got 2 sessions a month again. We've added new sessions this year. So the big thing we've added, people have been requesting this for a long time. So hopefully we'll scratch that itch, as it were.
Yep.
We've got family law on the Advocacy Club schedule. So those of you who are in the club will get to practice some family law submissions this year as well.
Indeed.
In addition to everything else, the criminal law submissions, civil law submissions, trial advocacy, mooting, public speaking, debating. There's so much on there. Something for everyone.
Really is. So this month we have public speaking on the 21st of January.
Yeah.
And the theme, there's always a theme with the public speaking sessions, isn't there? Is it's all about building rapport with the audience.
Yeah, and that's key. Building rapport is absolutely key, because if you've got no rapport, the audience aren't interested.
Yeah.
You know, so but rapport is so crucial for good advocacy, good public speaking. So it's going to be a good session, that one.
Yep. And following that, on the 28th of January, we are doing some speed mooting.
We certainly are. Back to our roots, bit of speed mooting. So it's really, really, really good practice.
Yeah.
If you're looking to take part in the National Speed Mooting Competition.
Absolutely.
So yeah, highly encourage people to take part, particularly if they've got any interest in the competition.
Mm-hmm. And the beauty with the Advocacy Club is it's unlimited. We can have as many people join. There's no limit on our places. You can join whenever you want, at any point in any month.
Yeah.
You can pause your membership, you can restart it. It's a completely flexible membership scheme. But January is, for obvious reasons, a perfect time to start. You know, start that new year strong.
Yeah.
Let's build up your skills. Let's get you confident. Let's get you ready for your training contract applications, your pupillage applications, or even if you just need to, you know, you've got a big meeting coming up and you're really nervous, we can help you with your public speaking nerves. So we look forward to seeing lots of you there.
Definitely. Now, speaking of January and the Advocacy Club, we thought, well, do you know what? Let's do our biggest ever giveaway.
Yeah.
So we've got a nice, I think we called it the Complete Advocacy Bundle, haven't we?
Yep.
And it's an interesting prize. So it's running across a variety of our social media channels. So we're on X, LinkedIn and Instagram.
Yep.
And there's specific instructions for each, but as a general rule, it's you need to like the post, ensure you're following Speed Mooting and the Advocacy Club, reshare, and comment someone who you might think might be interested in Speed Mooting or Advocacy Club.
Yeah.
And it gets you entry into the draw. I mean, you can enter across all 3 channels, and you've got 3 entries in the draw.
Indeed.
And the winner will walk away with a 12-month Advocacy Club subscription, and they will gain entry to an in-person competition and an online competition.
And they also get a free mooting guide.
And a free mooting guide as well.
It's a really good bundle to have.
Yeah, it's a good prize. That one's a really good bundle. So it's the best way to get yourself set up for 2025.
Yeah, and we've had an awful lot of entries already. We launched this yesterday, and we're keeping it open until the 13th of January. So just to make sure the winner can receive their prize in time for the Advocacy Club meeting that's coming up.
So you make the most of it.
Indeed, yeah. But yeah, we've got a lot of entries, but you've got to be in it to win it. So
you have.
Join, follow, share.
Read the instructions and you'll be fine.
Yep. And might be you joining us.
It might be you.
Right. So I think we were going to move on to a little bit kind of commercial awareness, but not really. Just something that I read about in the news that made me chuckle. So we were going to ask you to talk about it, John.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So apparently a magistrate, this was on the Legal Gazette website, a magistrate has been formally warned, given like a misconduct warning, because he swore at a witness and told him to get out.
Right.
So leading on from that, have you got any funny stories from court that you can share with us?
Wow, funny stories from court. I remember one time seeing, I think this was in the Crown Court actually, and I was watching a chap, and I think he'd just been disqualified from driving, and the judge is there saying, you know, so how are you going to pay all your fines and all the rest of it? And he's going, well, I've lost my job, can't pay, not paying any fines. Being a bit obtuse with the judge.
Yeah.
And so next thing, it ends up in a bit of an argument between him and this Crown Court judge. I'm like, wow, what's this? And in the end, the judge just turned around and went, well, look, I'm not the one who was, I can't remember what the offence was, but, let's say it was dangerous driving or whatever. I'm not the one who committed that offence, so my licence is fine. Paid the fine, walked off.
He walked off afterwards?
Walked
wow.
off. Took no messing off this guy.
Gosh. I mean, I wouldn't pick an argument with the judge.
No, I wouldn't advise it.
Probably not the most intelligent thing to do. Wow.
Yeah.
So have you ever had any, obviously that was someone being really difficult to the judge himself. Have you ever had any crazy defendants, clients being really difficult with you?
Years ago, and I rock up to represent this guy, and he was steaming drug, absolutely paralytic. And
what was he charged with? Don't. Does it something to do with drink?
Drink driving.
That's so funny.
So I rock up there and I'm representing him at trial, and giving him pretty frank advice. He's about to have a trial and he's about to go into the witness box, very drunk, smelling of vodka. I think it was vodka. I mean, I'm not an expert on drink, but I'm going to suspect it was vodka. But you can smell the booze on him, and he's about to go into the witness box at trial for drink driving, smell like that. So I gave him some pretty frank advice. I won't say about the advice, but you can probably imagine.
Yep.
Given the circumstances of this case, prison was an option.
Wow.
Okay. So this was why he needed to really think quite carefully about credit. And his main concern was the driving ban, if I put it that way.
Yeah.
And next thing, he just hit the roof. Absolutely hit the roof, this guy. And wasn't necessarily aggressive towards me, but he was when he found out how many months he might be banned for,
right,
he was shouting, he was effing and jeffing, he was hitting the roof. I'm like, okay, yeah. Anyway,
what happened?
The security could obviously hear this. They knock on the door, come in, everything all right? It's like, yeah, we're okay. But anyway, he gets even more. I reckon he actually does get aggressive with the security, to be fair, and they're escorting him out. And I'd never known this before. They must have had some sort of taser, because one of them was holding the taser this close to his neck. That's how aggressive this guy became.
Wow.
Okay. And he kind of slowly but surely got escorted out, and you're like, that's the craziest conference I have ever had. It was just insane.
It's a good job why we have security in court, isn't it?
I mean, the security in court are absolutely crucial.
It's got to be few and far between that they're needed, I suppose.
No, I've only ever seen it on... I'm trying to think how many times I've ever seen it when security have been needed, but it's nice to know that they're there for when you need them.
Of course it is.
And obviously on that day, they were on the ball. They're not there hanging around waiting for something. They could hear something going on in that conference room. Didn't wait and think, went straight in. So they were brilliant. They were very proactive.
Yeah.
And it just makes you realise, it's thankfully that the security is something that you need very, very rarely. But when you do, it's nice to know that they're there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was... it escalated very, very quickly.
I bet it did. There's probably so many crazy stories that criminal lawyers could share about funny experiences they've had in court, but that's just a few from John.
Just a few. It's an interesting place, the courtroom.
Okay, so we're going to keep this one relatively short today, just because we both need to nap.
Yeah.
But we do have a question.
Okay.
So, Ask Speed Squad. This is the part where we answer any questions that you send in to us, and you can send us a question by email, info@speedmooting.com. You can message us on any of the platforms, our LinkedIn, our Instagram, X, Facebook, you name it. You can send us a question. So this is a question for you, John.
Yeah.
What does a typical day at the CPS look like?
Okay. Well, I spoke about this a while ago in terms of my role as a senior Crown prosecutor, so I'll speak about this from the advocacy point of view, because I imagine a lot of people are listening are interested in advocacy. So when you first qualify at the CPS, whether as a barrister or a solicitor, you'll be a Crown prosecutor and prosecuting the Magistrates Court. So your typical day could be anything really, but on each given day you'll have a specific type of court that you're dealing with. Okay, so it could be the guilty anticipated plea court, and what will happen is you'll be given a series of cases, all digital, so you'll have access to the digital files on your computer, and you might be dealing with 10, 15, 20, maybe even 25 cases in court that day. And the cases whereby it's expected that the defendants will plead guilty for whatever reason. Either they've made admissions in interview, it might be something straightforward where most people tend to plead guilty, you know, so basic motoring cases, etc. But for whatever reason, they're all guilty anticipated pleas. And so obviously what you need to do is you need to read those the night before, prepare for them.
Yeah.
And then when you're in court, you'll just be spending the day prosecuting those cases. And so effectively that will be assuming that there's a guilty plea, opening the case, presenting the facts to the magistrate or a judge if you've got them, and you will then be setting out any particular aggravating factors if they're relevant, and then making any applications as necessary. So it might be that there's an application for a restraining order or something of that nature, and of course applying for costs. So that's the most straightforward sort of day.
Yep.
You might have a day where you're in the NGAT court, not guilty anticipated plea. And in those, once again, you're dealing with mainly first appearances, and you'll be dealing with effectively case management at the first appearance. So dealing with the prosecution side of the case management form, setting out any requirements for trial, potentially if there's any remand cases within there, you might be applying for the defendant to be remanded, so opposing a bail application. But once again, you know, you'll be dealing with multiple cases in a single day. As you become more advanced, you start then getting trial courts as well. So you'll have days where you'll be dealing with trials, and in the magistrates' courts, they tend to list multiple trials in a single day, because sometimes, you know, a magistrates' court trial might be 2 hours long, 90 minutes long. You know, you can deal with trials that quickly, and also you tend to find that the magistrates' court will list multiple trials on the same day, because a lot of people plead guilty, witnesses don't turn up, things happen, and they don't want empty courts. So the view of the court is, well, let's overbook and hope that, you know, certain trials don't go ahead for whatever reason. Sometimes it leads to adjournments, but ideally not. And then once again, whichever court you're in, you know, the NGAP, whether you're in a trials court, whatever, you get these the night before, you get the digital files there, you prepare for them, and you'll prosecute them. So you deal with so many cases and get such a variety, so you're really building up your advocacy reps, as it were. And you'll learn so much by doing that.
Yeah.
And then obviously from there you can progress to sort of Crown advocacy. And once again, you know, the day can be so varied there. So it could literally be that you're doing a handful of PCPHs, committals for sentence, etc. Or it might be that you're involved in trials, and trials in the Crown Court are generally a lot longer than the Magistrates' Court.
I can imagine.
So, you know, I would imagine that the CPS probably give you time to prep for bigger trials and things of that nature. But yeah, so at the CPS, once you get to that Crown Advocate level, then obviously you're in the Crown Court and you can be dealing with anything. I mean, I know that I've gone against what they call principal Crown Advocates at the CPS on higher profile, high profile, more serious cases, as it were, so you can really work your way up that ladder.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with those cases. So that shows the variety there, but certainly at the outset when you're newly qualified, you'll be in the Magistrates' Court and you'll be doing a lot of those sort of list type hearings.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, so
I hope that was a helpful insight for the person that asked us that question.
Hopefully.
Right, shall we leave it there for this week?
Let's leave it there. I think we've spoken for long enough.
We promise to bring a lot more energy next week. Well, hopefully.
Yeah,
we'll be on day 8.
Crossed. We've used all the energy from our chicken soup today, haven't we?
We have.
So we hope you've enjoyed the episode. I've certainly enjoyed recording it. Hayley, have you enjoyed?
I've enjoyed recording it, John.
Recording it. Couldn't think of the word there. We hope you've enjoyed listening. We hope we've brought enough energy to make it an enjoyable podcast. If you're still listening at this point, you are one of our real listeners, and I would invite you to comment with chicken soup.
Oh, chicken soup.
So if you're
I was going to say detox.
Oh, right.
No, we'll keep chicken soup.
Yeah, chicken soup. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
You could do a chicken emoji.
Yeah, do a chicken emoji and a soup emoji. So if you're still listening at this point, drop us a chicken soup down below. And until next time,
Bye.